Well, the service saga continues. Gonna be replacing my guide rollers here on the sawmill. If you look, this one back here, oh, let me see how I can see it, that you guys can see it. This one here-ish, yeah, it's totally trashed. Like it's not even in one piece anymore. And this one over here is mostly trashed, but doing okay, I guess. But anyway, they're junked out. I need to replace them. They just wore out. So I'm going to be working on that today. I've got the new ones that Timberking sent me, and yeah, they didn't give them to me. I had to pay for them. They were 180 bucks for these two rollers. But he told me, he said if you replace the originals, you replace them again in like 5 months of steady use. He said if you replace with these, we've been running them for 4 to 5 years and haven't replaced them yet. So it's like, well, okay. Plus the originals were like 80 bucks. The new ones are 180. So that's a pretty easy decision to make there. Anywho, we bolt them on. They send these little simple directions with them. It looks like the new roller only fits in this bracket. So it doesn't actually replace any of this housing, which I've got a broken bolt here that I'm not excited about, but hopefully it's not too big of a deal. But anyway, the problem is with the rollers not riding right. See, these rollers are meant to be down just a little bit to push your blade down about 1/8 of an inch is what they say in the instructions. Now I thought I had them set like that the other night, but just as soon as I start cutting into this log, they tell me that they're not. I saw a pine log earlier today and they seem fine, but you see these marks here is because the blade came in and it went up and then back down. And they said that's a result of your guide rollers not being down tight enough. They're not keeping enough tension on that blade. So when your blade here, the tip of your blade hits the log, it wants to curl up and then eventually it'll settle back down. But I can't be having waves like that in my lumber for sure. I've got a lot of waves. Well, you can probably see it. And some of those pine 2x4s that are laying there, they're wavy as all get out. I mean, it's embarrassing how bad they are. It's so bad it almost looks like it's on purpose. So I started on this elm, all excited, brand new blade, thought everything was good to go, and right off the bat it shows me a wave. So luckily I didn't get too far into it. So anyway, this should just be a bolt-on sort of deal. Yeah, they give you all the instructions here on how the old one comes off and the new one goes on. So let me get set up and get started. Oh look, they even give you a list of tools. That's what I was looking for. 7/16, 9/16, and a 3/4 open end wrench. So let me go over to my truck and get these tools and then we'll get started. All right, so the first step here will be to get the old one off. I believe it's, hang on a second. Got stuff blowing around because it's breezy out today. I'm trying to make sure I don't lose any parts and pieces. It's a 7/16 wrench and a little ratchet to start taking this stuff loose. That's your top bearing assembly. Actually, let me go ahead and take the blade off, because or else the blade's just going to get in the way. Maybe it'll get in the way, maybe it won't. Maybe I don't have to take the blade off. We'll just see. If it slides out the top, I don't have to. Which I don't see. I don't think it can. It can't slide out the bottom, so it's going to have to come out the top. That this little stupid broken brush thing, I don't even know what this thing is. It's on here and it kind of irritates me because it gets in the way of my drip tube. I don't know what it's for. I think maybe from the factory it was like a little brush to make sure your blade is brushed off of dust before it goes into the saw. Now look, that's welded, so I can't take that out the top. It's got to go out the bottom, and it can't go out the bottom because of the slide. They sent approximately no directions. They show an exploded diagram that I showed you guys, but that's it. I'm sure I could go get the manual and see. But we're just going to start yanking bolts here until we figure out. This big bolt holds the bottom of the roller. Well, it holds the rear guide roller, and it holds. There you go. Wow, that's what I figured would happen. Oh, so there's my old rear roller in pieces. So now I am gonna have to take the blade off because I've got to drive this guide down to get it out. And that makes getting the blade off a lot easier. I fight with this thing sometimes because that lower tray or track trough, whatever you want to call it there, kind of gives me fits sometimes. It doesn't want to let the blade come out. So that's out. Oh, we got to loosen this here. That's your set nut there. That's probably, it is 7/16. See if I can get on it with my socket. Yeah, there you go. Here's your set screw. There we go. Out you go, baby. Oh, now what? Oh, it sits in a groove. Aha! There's a nut on the back of it, a bolt. That. So that sets in a little trough there, a little slot. You'll see here when I take this out. Kind of funny to see how it differs. They changed the design. Okay, so all that's out. Let's see what you guys can see. Where are we here? Yeah, so you see that little slot where my finger's at? Yeah, that little slot. Okay, so that one's out. So let's see about getting the new one in. They appear to be the same. But they've reversed the direction of the nut and the slide. I don't know how the hell that's supposed to work. That hits this little thing, whatever it is, this little brush contraption thingy. That hits that, so that's in the way, so that's coming off. Same thing, 7/16. I don't like that thing anyway, I don't even know what it is. Problem is it's right in the way of my drip line, my water line, so my water tends to hit it and then want to drain off the back of it and not drip on the blade. But whatever it is, it doesn't function the way it's supposed to for me, because it doesn't even contact the blade, or like I said, I think it's like, it looks like it's got little hairs on it like it used to be a brush or something. I don't know. It may just be a piece of junk that the prior owner stuck in there just to fill space. Now, I'm going to double check these rollers. Everything about them is identical. So the directions say lock nut and flat washer. Slide our new one on here, slide it up. Flat washer and Teflon lock nut, or nylon nut. All right. Give me the opening wrench there. And hopefully I can fit the socket on the back side somehow. Oh, not likely. Well, that's frustrating. At least do this to get it started. There we go. Doggone you. Just because of the way the structure is, if I had like a low profile ratchet, I could get in there easier. There's just not enough room to really get a turn on it. And I'm not torquing this down yet, I'm just cinching it up enough that it's riding where it needs to be. Too far, of course. Whew. There we go. So that gets it in the range that it needs to be. It'll kind of hang up, but I can adjust it now. Now, the slide here's got to come back forward and goes back underneath of it. Oh, I see here. Okay, so the old one had a rear, that's what it is. So the old one had a top and a rear guide roller. These new ones don't have a rear guide roller because you can see, it's easier to see on this one, you can see it has a lip on the back of the guide roller. So the blade can't slide backwards, it hits that back lip. The old ones, these rollers here, they're just smooth. So your blade in theory could slip off the back. Okay, so now we got a spacer and a lock washer. Goes on under here. So we put our big nut in there, slide that up out of the way, or big bolt, I'm sorry, big bolt, spacer, lock washer, and then that bolt threads into the bottom of the guide roller. And so what that does is that ensures that when you move this arm in and out with your guide roller, it drags this yellow plate with it. That's how it's all connected. There's our 3/4 again. Wished I'd have brought a ratchet, but the directions didn't say it, so. I don't know why I didn't just pull my truck around here with my toolbox. I'll walk over and get one tool at a time. It's typical nonsense that I do. Alright, put a little mustard on that lock nut so it won't work loose. Okay. So they did not provide a replacement bolt for that. So I put my same guide roller adjust in here. So for right now, that is up. Okay. Let's go over here and do the other side. Just about breaking a sweat, folks. Just about. Now this one, it has the big nut on the bottom, but I don't know why, because there's not a plate for it to hold in place. Maybe there's supposed to be. That'd be another interesting question for Timberking. If there's supposed to be an outfeed plate like there is on the infeed side. I don't really see a need for it because this guide roller's so close to the wheel already. And the other night when I adjusted these down, I had to lower this whole bracket because it's bent a little bit. So I'd actually, these bolts I loosened, dropped it down so that I had enough length on this bolt there to actually put it down all the way. And that. You guys wouldn't even know my kids are out here, would you? You're such good kids. Good kids. They're both playing happily, and that's where kids should be. Happily playing outdoors and quote unquote helping daddy. Good luck getting that bolt out of there. Ain't that something? Oh, goodness gracious, come on. Oh. Come on. Either way I go, if it's wrong. Well, luckily it's junk. If I can just beat it out of there, I'll find a way. It's got the doggone washer on it. Get it down. That'll get it out, I think. There we go. Sometimes you just gotta slap it around a little bit. Alright, so here's our new one for this side. Yep. And I've got a flat washer and a nylon nut. Man, I'll tell you, I got the bee stirred up, y'all.
Daddy made a mud ball.
You did? Dude, you're so good at making mud balls.
Yeah.
I mean, if I ever have to hire out to have a mud ball made, I know where I'm going. Well, I guess I'll never have to hire out, right? Because you'll be here. I don't know, someday when you grow up and go away, though, I'll have to find a new mud ball maker. Oh, you know what, folks?
Dad, I don't need to take a mud ball maker because I make my own mud ball.
You make the best mud balls, dude.
Yeah?
The best. I gotta get a winch.
Well, you have mud ball machine. When I put mud ball,
Mary, you want down, honey?
I put mud in a mud ball machine and turns the mud into a mud ball.
You're gonna make a mud ball machine?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I would never make one, but you can get one.
You want down? Dude, if you could make me a mud ball machine, that'd be perfect. You just make me a mud ball machine before you go away to school someday. You make me that mud ball machine. Yeah.
But I don't have any money to make it start.
You don't have any mud to make it start? We can fix that. There's mud everywhere around here.
That will make mud balls when it starts. Now when it starts, that means we don't put any mud ball in there.
Oh, okay.
And when it turns off, now we can put it. Dad, these parts,
All right.
they kind of look different.
So there's your new rollers on.
I
I wonder if that's the same size.
Big mud ball machine. But when it, and this doesn't
Look at there. That's the old mounting bolt. They're the same size. I'm going to put the old mounting bolt here that actually held the bracket in. Put it in place of that adjuster bolt, just so I've got some length. It's a lot longer than I need, but I don't see why it's a problem to have it. What's up with you, Snots? That threaded on fine. What'd you say? You did what? Oh, you're so snotty. Your snot grosses me out. Way more than my own snot. Genius! See, if I had this bigger bolt the other night, I wouldn't have had to fart around with loosening those other ones. Okay, there you go. Oh, wait. Guide roller's on. Lube line. The lube line goes on this front here. Oh. Yeah, if it gets too hard, we'll have to go in the house. Forgot to put the lube line on, but I'm actually really happy they included this copper tube to fix my lube line, to make sure that I can adjust it to be right on the blade where it needs to be. There we go. Look at that. Slide it off over the outlet. So this little old mounting bracket doesn't have anything to do with the blade tensioner, so I guess that's a remnant. But it is what's now the mounting bracket for my lube line. Oh, that's why it recommended that. Okay, so it said I needed a smaller Allen wrench for right here to adjust my lube line. But I think I'll be able to do it just with the angle of this. Get that socket back, or that nut back. Man alive. Well, that ain't coming off there without permission. Not the way it's acting. Almost looks like it cut a new thread. I don't think it was cross-threaded, but that's kind of the way it acted. No. So if anything, I'll need to shorten my lube line tube up here a little bit, maybe. That looks good, doesn't it? Here's my hose. Coming on to it. That should just slip right on over it. Yeah, yeah! Fancy dam! Alright. Girl, you better take that off. That is not a necklace. We actually have to watch that little girl. She thinks it's so fun to put stuff around her neck. And don't let me... Not to say that's bad. It's not like she's trying to strangle herself, but we just have to watch her because she thinks she's pretty. Put a little necklace on, you know. No, not a good idea, honey. All right.
That ones are hard to cut. That ones are hard to cut.
Now, there you go. That's it for replacing the guide rollers. Now I've got to get them leveled up and trued up again.